Dr. Lisa Barrett is my guest, an infectious disease specialist. She's in Halifax today. Hey, Lisa, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I know you're looking at this modeling data, the case counts in Ontario, your reaction to that and what you think could be done in the here and now to try and mitigate that worst case scenario.
Yeah, so for people who do this for a living, for those of us in infectious disease, and I suspect for a good chunk of the population, these pieces of information this afternoon were not unexpected, mainly because we all know that this is not going in the right direction in certain regions in Canada. And pretty much the really, really wrong way to approach this is when you hear people standing in front of a microphone at a government level saying, we continue to evaluate this. That's the wrong approach in high case number areas right now. You have to act definitively and you have to act quickly. We've gone past containment in those places. They need to go into mitigation because, just as you said, testing and tracing is most useful for prevention and low case numbers. At this point in some of those places, that strategy is not going to be as helpful as doing definitive actions like close to lockdowns.
So if I hear you correctly, what you're saying is Ontario needs to get a whole lot more serious here and stop waiting and evaluating and actually start moving closer to, let's say, what we're seeing as of today in Manitoba.
In certain areas, I think that's pretty darn clear. And you look back, to me, this is not difficult. We see where cases have shown up in certain groups, in certain situations around the globe in wave 2. And you do that, you look after those areas. The earlier you do it, the shorter the time period is that you need to continue those more restrictive measures. You can't sit around looking for other experts, for other people to weigh in on what you know is the right thing to do. That is a mistake, but also people have to take it upon themselves. You don't have to wait for your government to tell you to do something to be able to have the power to help control this.
The situation in Quebec with closing of schools, surging in British Columbia. Now we're hearing more restrictions are coming in Alberta. You know, basically it seems like the only place in the country that's somewhat protected by all this is where you are, you know, in the Atlantic bubble as well. You know, and you know, I want to get your read on that, sort of a tale of two countries now.
Well, you know, there's nothing magic about Atlantic Canada. People have tried to kind of push things off and make light of it by just saying we have fewer people and we have islands. But we've also done a couple of other things pretty well, which was we went down to very, very low case numbers before we started reopening. And number two, we have a travel associated quarantine for people coming in. It makes a huge difference. And I don't think we're talking enough about this at a national level. I know people don't want to hear it, but it works and it gets the numbers down and it keeps them down. So some form of that may be useful as we go forward in different situations.
Lisa, thanks for your time as always. Appreciate you coming on the program, sharing your thoughts.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You as well.